Giannis is who everybody is waiting for, to demand a trade or not, because he's literally got a line of teams that are ready to pursue him full throttle. The Spurs are a huge name and we know that, even the Houston Rockets. But Giannis should stay in the East. He shouldn't go to the West because the West is too competitive. Like it was the Indiana Pacers that made it to the finals. No one projected that, which means every single year, anybody in the East could go to the finals. Especially next year, because Jason Tatum went down and he won't be playing at all. So if Giannis wants to capitalize in his prime, he needs to go to a team that is ready to win now. Brian Windhorst just said that Toronto is looking to make a major move this offseason and is trying to land a big fish. Who is the biggest fish in the sea right now? It's Giannis, the player that just came third in MVP voting, a player on a team that isn't gonna win next year. There are some teams that sniff the ability to make a move, and I think Toronto is one of those teams. And so naturally, any team that wants to make a move this summer, especially a team in the Eastern Conference, you're going to have Giannis on the board. You'd be surprised because the Raptors even have the tools to land Giannis. But Toronto, from their initial conversations, teams in the league are getting the impression that Toronto is going to try and do something. I had an executive tell me yesterday that he thinks this could be an explosive summer. In the 2013 NBA draft, the Bucks ultimately ended up drafting Giannis, but Masai Ujiri, who was the freshly installed boss of the Raptors, wanted to pick Giannis. Masai already stated that there was interest in Giannis, and over the past decade, he has always stated that he has had interest in Giannis, but of course, Giannis had never become available. I just said it, the Eastern Conference is wide open now, and the Raptors with Giannis would be in the top 3 mix right away. I don't know if it will happen, but I do know there is mutual interest between Antetokounmpo and the Raptors. The wild card is cost. And I'm telling you, if Giannis demands a trade, the Raptors are going to be willing to pay the cost because the Raptors have not made the playoffs in the last 5 seasons. Giannis in exchange for RJ Barrett, Jakob Poeltl, Grady Dick, Ochai Agbaji, and 4 first-round draft picks. This is the blockbuster deal to land Giannis in TO. It's wise for Giannis to stay in the East, and the Raptors could be ideal for Giannis actually going to the finals next season. Huge shout out to SeatGeek for sponsoring the channel, the best ticketing app on the market with over 28 million downloads and more now, because they have the best ticket prices available and they have tickets to over 70,000+ events. SeatGeek is the place for you to get your tickets. On checkout, use my promo code EasyBuckets with an S at the end to get an extra $20 off your first purchase. Your cheap tickets on SeatGeek just became cheaper. But the Raptors aren't the only team in the East that are ready to make a huge move. The Detroit Pistons are one that are trying to make a splash. Because they just made the playoffs as the 6th seed, they're on the rise as one of the better teams in the East, and they're going to really need a veteran presence big to make them get the jump. The Detroit Pistons are looking for a floor-spacing big man to run some pick and pops with Cade Cunningham, and they have their eyes on Minnesota's Naz Reid and Indiana's Miles Turner. Miles Turner would be the best case scenario for Cade Cunningham because he's an excellent pick and pop player, but is also an excellent shot blocker, which would help them both offensively and defensively. But we're projecting that Miles Turner is more likely to re-sign with Indiana after making it to the finals this year. But Naz Reid is more of an interesting case, because we are expecting Naz to opt out of his $15 million player option and then see the open market. And with the Pistons having money to land Naz Reid on a multi-year deal, I see Naz Reid joining Cade on a pretty decent contract. In Minnesota, Naz Reid has always been the 6-man backup big, but in Detroit, he would be the starting power forward or even starting center. But a big report just came out about Zion Williamson and the Pelicans, because literally everybody on the roster is no longer untouchable. There are no untouchables in New Orleans. League sources says the Pelicans are gouging the market for everyone on the roster. They very well could end up keeping their core pieces, namely Zion Williamson, but it appears the Pelicans are looking into taking different paths this summer, depending on what opportunities become available. It's time for New Orleans to reset, because the Zion Williamson experiment has not been successful consistently. I am strongly predicting the Pelicans are going to take a reset this season. But who knows, maybe the Bucks pull a Zion and Giannis trade. One thing's for sure, Giannis is the big fish on the market right now, and we have to keep an eye on him if he's ready to demand that trade.